In this video, I'm going to be speaking with a friend who is going to share his experiences living in Canada as an international student. Coming right up after this. What is happening, my beautiful people? Welcome back to another video on the channel. My name is Richard, and on this channel we provide tips, tricks, strategies to enhance your international student experience. I also sometimes share my experiences living in the US for a while now. So if this is content that you like, consider hitting the subscribe button and clicking on the notification bell so that anytime I drop a video, you will be notified. Also follow us on Twitter on our Twitter handle at globe_engaged for previews and sneak peeks into our upcoming videos. In today's video, we are going to be having an interesting conversation with one of my good friends who is studying in Canada. He has agreed to share his experiences being an international student in Canada in the midst of COVID. So if you're ready, let's jump right into the video. Okay, so tell us about yourself. Maybe, the basics. We want to know who you are.
Okay. My name is Desmond Mensah. I would like to say my age, but that's personal, so I won't say my age.
Yes, I mean, just share what you are comfortable sharing.
What I'm comfortable.
We are all here to learn from each other. So.
Yep, I'm from Ghana, and right now I'm in Canada, and my precise location in Canada is Montreal. I'm also a student at Concordia University. I'm taking business, and my major is finance. I'm expecting to graduate in a year.
I mean, that's an interesting story because, this is how much I've known you for a while, but this is some added information about you that I didn't even know. So, where in Ghana are you from?
I'm from Kumasi, Ashanti region.
Nice. Yeah, so I've known Desmond for a while now, since 2018, but I'm not going to tell the story of how we met. To let Desmond tell us how we met, and then I'm going to say something that will probably sound weird to you guys. So Desmond, if you our viewers and listeners, how we met.
Okay. So you all know how guys do like to play games. So I got myself a PlayStation, and I joined the Ghanaian community, and later on I met one guy from there, so we used to play some friendly matches, and then he introduced me to a group of people who are Ghanaians too, and I met Richie over there. But the reason why we became friends, not too close, but should I say, not acquaintance, but close friends, let me say close friends, was because we normally stay up late nights to play. We're normally online around 9 p.m. till 2 a.m. So we normally online, we play games, we talk, share some stories, troll ourselves and all that. That's why and the reasons we became friends deeply. Yeah, that's what I can say at the moment.
Yeah, and the thing that makes my friendship with Desmond really special to me, especially even though I've never physically met Desmond, I've planned so many trips to go visit him in Canada.
Yeah.
A lot of things have not really gone the way we expect it to be. It's the fact that, he offers an avenue to, have really good conversation. We talk about any and everything, and the connection and the vibe is just there. So it's really authentic, and so even though we've never met, it still feels like we've known each other for a long time. But yes, we met randomly in a group, and that's just been the vibe and the relationship since then. All right, so you mentioned that you study in Canada. What made you settle on Canada and not any other country?
I decided to settle in Canada because when I was looking for schools to apply abroad, first of all, the first thing I considered is, wow, where do I have more family members in? So when I checked, it was Canada. I have my auntie, I have my granddad too over here. And I asked them for advice. I have some uncles too in USA too, but comparing the school fees and all that too was actually part of this decision process. So when I compare the fees of the Canadian schools to the United States one, the Canadian was cheaper. So I'm like, okay, then instead of going to USC, I'd rather come to Canada. And also I do have family members over here. But the funny thing is, when I came out, I didn't settle with a family member. I was actually living alone. That's how it always is. So that's the reason why I decided to choose Canada over any other country.
And again, if you are watching this and you are planning on schooling outside of your home country, these are some of the things that you need to think about. You weigh all of the options and then you look at what is going to make more sense to you, even outside of the educational system, because at the end of the day, all these bits and pieces is going to help you make a decision that's going to impact your international students' experience. All right, so we talked about fees and how cheap the fees in Canadian schools were as compared to the United States schools. If you don't mind me asking, and again, if you don't feel comfortable sharing this, you don't have to. How are you currently financing your fees or your studies in Canada or in school?
Well, currently my dad is the one paying my school fees. I mean, I said it's cheaper than the United States, but the fees for international students, it's crazy. It's crazy. So my advice for anyone out there who is planning to travel abroad, please make sure you have more than enough. If your finance is limited, please just stay in your country, study. When you have the chance or whenever you are ready, you think, financially you're strong and you can come, you can do that. But if you're limited and there's no support like scholarships, please just stay out.
So what about someone who still has that ambition? Because again, we are human beings, we dream, we have aspirations. Some people just don't take no for an answer, and they may not have family, or they may not have family that has enough money to support. Like in my case, when I came to the US, I paid 2 months rent and I had $15 in my pocket, but then I still survived because of scholarships. Now in Canada, I don't know how the scholarship system is like. Does your school or are schools offering scholarships, and if so, how does international students also get to enjoy or benefit from some of these scholarships?
Okay, so if you don't have anyone to support you, you can apply for scholarships. But before you get scholarships, you have to make sure you have a good academic background. You won't just get scholarship out of the blues. So if you have good academic background, and if you're lucky, you can have, let's say, 50% of your academic stay funded. Exactly. And when you come here, because you're on a scholarship, you don't have to mess around. You always have to keep your grades high, because the moment you drop down, they're taking you off. And also, one thing about living abroad is when you get here, finding a job to support yourself, I won't say it's easy, but so far as you search for it and you have the qualities and you are actually ready to work, you're going to find a job to do to support yourself. So if you don't have the finance for that, you can apply for scholarships. Make sure you get a scholarship before you try coming.
You leave the country.
Yep. So first thing is get your scholarships. Make sure you search for some jobs. You apply to some jobs before getting here. I mean, using myself an example, before I came to Canada, I tried searching for jobs, but because I wasn't in the country, I didn't get it. But you can just, email them that there's your situation right now and you're going to be here. They can find something for you. But I didn't get a reply as soon as possible, because at that point in time, I had no experience in work. So most of the jobs rejected my job application. But later on, when I came here, I found a job. it's easy to find jobs over here as of comparing to Ghana. That's one benefit of staying abroad.
And that's something that I've always been telling my, fellow international students that, yes, there are restrictions to finding jobs and things like that. But personally, I believe that once you are making the effort, once you are applying, once you are taking time to shake the tree, something is definitely going to fall out of that tree. And Desmond just made, just basically reaffirmed that belief. And he lives in a different country than I am. So speaking of jobs, what are the job limitations as far as international students or international students working in Canada is concerned? For instance, in the United States, students can only work 20 hours a week and only on university campus jobs. How is that situation in Canada like?
Well, in Canada has the same set of rules, but Canada, you can also work off campus. It's the same amount of hours, 20 hours maximum. But if you have a work permit, you can go above that. But you don't want to go above 20 hours a week because you have schoolwork and all that. So there's
your visa is usually also
yep.
tied to that.
Yep. So you don't want to go over 20 hours. I mean, it's not because your visa is tied to that, but also you need time to study for yourself. Remember, you only came here to study, not to work. If you came here to work, that's different. But if you came here to study, you want to focus on studying instead of working. The thing about staying here in abroad is the moment you start working, the moment you start seeing the cash in your bank account, you're like, oh, wow, if I decide to work more hours, I can get more money.
Yeah.
So you get too excited and start working and you lose focus on why you came here. That's what happened to most of the international students here. So most of them come and they deviate instead of focusing on why they came here.
Yeah, true. Thank you for sharing that, because sometimes when people hear some of these stories, they think that you are here and everything is going so well for you, and you want other people to come, and so you cook up all these cock and bull stories. So, and that is one reason I'm trying to bring in other international students onto the channel to share their experiences, so that you don't hear from just a one-sided person like me, but you hear from other people in other countries, so that we also learn from what the situation is like out there, which will in turn help you make a decision should you decide to travel abroad to study. So you gained admission, you bought your ticket, you had your visa and everything, you moved to Canada. How does your family in Ghana feel about you living in a different country, irrespective of whether you have family in Canada, but like you said, you didn't settle with them, you are grinding, you are doing your own thing. How does your family in Ghana feel about you living in a different country?
I won't brag about this, but my parents actually trust me on that, like living alone and all that. So anytime I talk to my parents, they're always proud, like, yo, you've done a great job. Not everyone who comes from a different country who moves from a different country to another country is able to cope on how you actually there. Some people go and they mess around because of the freedom. When you're in Ghana, since your parents are around, they control you on what you do, what you're not supposed to do. But when I moved here, I still stay with that same set of rules. So anytime I talk to my parents, I always like happy, they're proud dad and mom. Yeah.
I kind of understand that vibe. Like you said, the freedom is here. Nobody tells you what to do. Nobody tells you what to wear and things like that. And that is easy to make you lose focus or to, forget where you came from. So I'm really happy that at least, there's some feel safe for you that makes you remember where you came from and the life that you had. And so it makes you more conscious and aware of, the fact that you are living somebody else's dream right now, whilst you are living in a different country. Do you miss Ghana?
Of course, I do miss Ghana.
So how long have you been in Canada? I don't think I asked you that.
I moved in Canada January, I think I arrived in Canada January 7th, 2016.
2016. Oh, that was a year before I left. Have you been back to Ghana? Have you gone to visit Ghana?
Nope. I planned to go this year, but because of COVID, everything messed up my plans.
Yeah. We are going to talk about COVID in a little bit. Okay, so January 2016, up till now that we are recording this video, what would you say are your top 3 differences between living in Ghana and living in Canada?
Living in Canada. Okay, I already said this one. Job opportunities. Find a job over here is easy comparing to Ghana. That's my opinion, because I've seen what's happening. There's a lot of graduated students in Ghana that haven't gotten jobs. They are still staying home. Some are actually selling stuff on the roadside. But here, when you graduate and you're actually serious, you can find a job. I won't say it's easy, but you find a job so far as you search for it.
Yeah.
Even the Bible says, when you knock, it shall be open. When you search, you'll find. So the moment you search for it, you're gonna get it. And also my top 3 difference. So the second one, it's I don't know. I just want to say that, but I see it to be valid. I mean, internet. Let's talk about internet, okay?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm saying internet because when I was living in Ghana, you would have, here you're paying for the internet, but in Ghana, you're paying for internet that you're limited to. You can barely get access to the internet, and it's slow. It's very bad. Sometimes.
Tell me about it.
Sometimes when I call my parents in Ghana and the call is bugging, I'm like, my network, your network is not good.
Yep.
And they're always like, oh, so because you moved to Canada, you want to troll us and that. I'm like, oh, it is what it is, So I'll say internet because, and also reasons why I'm saying internet is because internet over here is cheaper, very cheap. Because the amount of data I'm going to use a month, if I was in Ghana, I'll be paying thousands of Ghana cedis for that.
Definitely.
So I'm actually grateful for the internet over here, and also consistent supply of water and electricity.
Yep.
We all know the doomsday in Ghana.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a student, you need light to do something. You always need light. You actually always need water to do something. You can't actually just be there and stay in the dark. It's really unfortunate for those in Ghana, and I feel very bad for them, because staying here, always having light, it's actually
a blessing.
It's a blessing. It's a great privilege. It's a great privilege, because sometimes you want to do something, but because the lights are out, you have to stop. Yeah. And all these power shortages in Ghana, it affect jobs. If let's say someone is running a cold store in Ghana and there's always power shortages, at the end of the month, he or she selling these fishes and chickens, you need the fridge to operate. So if you don't have a generator and all that, at the end of the month, you're going to run a loss, because all your products are going to go bad.
Yeah. And even with the generator, you still need gas or fuel.
You need gas, exactly. That's another problem.
So I think that, what I'm hearing from what you are saying is just the, infrastructure development, or, like the availability of
exactly
working systems and infrastructure. And that's what I try to tell some of my American friends here. I'm like, you guys don't have an idea how much of a blessing it is to have electricity 24/7.
Exactly.
And I'm sure your Nigerian friends will agree, especially on the electricity aspect, and things like that. What about in terms of social politics and stuff like that? What difference do you, or have you experienced in
politics?
Canada, also in Ghana?
Are you talking about politics as in politics?
No, so when I say social politics, that is my own term that I use to talk about, how we relate within the society. So for instance, how in Ghana, you can touch somebody's stuff without permission, and it's okay and things like that. But in the US, you can't, as part of the social politics, you can't just touch somebody's stuff without permission, or you can't just assume that because somebody is called Steven, you can just shorten their name and call them Steve.
Steve, yeah.
Just the social interaction and all of that. What is one difference that you've experienced in Ghana?
Wow,
in Canada.
Oh wow, that's a good question. I actually haven't taken notice of that, because life I was living in Ghana, I mean, when it comes to the social politics you're talking about, the same way I was living in Ghana, that's the same way I'm living here. So I haven't really noticed the difference. But there's one thing I can say, that's when it comes to people stealing your stuffs.
Mm-hmm.
In Ghana, let's say in a university, you can buy a laptop, but you can't leave your laptop just in an open area and just go. You always have to secure a laptop. But over here, I can leave my laptop in a library for like 30 or an hour and go outside to go and do whatever I want to do, come back and see my laptop at the same place. No one touched it, nothing on it, which is really good. In Ghana, if you decide to leave your laptop over there, when you come back, you'll be crying. I'm telling you, to be honest, you're gonna cry.
That was one of my culture shocks too. When I first came to the US and I was in school, like I'll see people leave their stuff, and I'm like, even in some places in Ghana, even when the laptop is in your bag, someone is following you.
Is trying to pull it out.
Pull the laptop out. So seeing people leave their phones and stuff like that, it was mind blowing. But yes, I've kind of had the same experience as well, as far as leaving your stuff, or if anyone finds it, they will send it to Lost and Found. So
exactly, yeah, exactly.
Last year sometime I left my backpack in a museum in DC. And when I went back, when I realized it was about 30 minutes later, and when I went back, my backpack wasn't there, and he had my passport and other immigration documents, and I was running like a headless chicken trying to find it. But luckily someone found it and took it to
Lost and Found,
which is really cool. Even though there are some places and some cases where people will find your stuff and they won't do anything to it. Take it. We are not saying that it's a perfect society. Of course, no society is perfect, but for the most part, especially on a university campus, when you leave your stuff in the library or a classroom or anything, it is likely to be there. It's going to be there. Okay, so you mentioned COVID, and that's the main bulk of this conversation, because for me, this conversation is about your experience as an international student of COVID.
Okay.
Do you work on campus currently?
No, I do not work on campus.
So you don't do any campus jobs? Okay. No. But how has COVID affected, your semester or your school?
Well, because of COVID, so this current semester, I'm only taking one class because of the COVID, but I'm planning to get back in line by January, because this semester I'm trying something out. That's why I decided to take only one semester. I'll hit on that later. But last semester we're in school and all that, which was nice. And then all of a sudden, there's 2 weeks quarantine because of COVID. It was actually messy because we had to move our classes online, which, to be honest with you, I'm not comfortable with online classes, because I'm always at my resting place. Why would I get out from my bed, sit on my laptop in a class on my bed? I'd rather sleep, to be honest with you. So it's actually difficult for me it was difficult for me during the quarantine with this online class and all that. And I know that right now they are still taking online classes, but I think by next semester, when everything goes down, we're actually going back to campus, which I'm praying so hard we go back to campus, because that is needed. I'm really not comfortable with the online classes.
Yeah,
And when it comes,
I think a lot of people are looking forward to just being able to have that same level of social interaction with other people. And I know how difficult it is on the part of students. So definitely.
And also, there's one thing I want to say. No one should get mad at me for saying that, but this COVID, low-key, it helped me because, I don't know, with my job, they increased my pay because I'm working in a store and it's, it's always open. So it's like, let's say, an emergency line of, so they increased my pay because of that, because you have to deal with people and all that. So I'm like, oh, that's actually cool, Yeah.
So you don't work a campus job.
Mm-hmm.
How did COVID affect other international students who had campus jobs, especially when school had to move online?
It was, to me, I felt sad for them because since the COVID came, if you were working on campus, you actually have no job right now. And the sad part of the story is, so later on during the quarantine, there was the government benefits, but it was mostly for permanent residents and those who have their citizenship, which was sad because students were getting paid a month for not working and all that to support them. But if you're an international student, you don't get all these benefits. If you're not working, it's actually your own loss, which was very sad.
So speaking of that, did you hear or see that the school had made any arrangements, or the school had like any system to support international students?
To be honest with you, I didn't really check on that because so far as I was good, I didn't really care about others. That's just me. I didn't really care about others.
I mean, it's what it is.
Yeah, let's go.
So, you were not really focused on what the school was doing for other international students. Do you think, based on how situations have gone on in the last few months, there may have been something that the school is sort of doing or have put in place to help support international students?
Well, in my opinion, I haven't really checked on the school for that, but as I was saying before about the government benefits and all that, I think the government should also try to help the international student because the international students are the one paying most of the fees. And at least, let's say if you want to give those saying here the benefit, at least try and give them like, let's say, half of what you're giving those who have their permanent residence, just to support them. Because converting, I mean, if you're converting a Canadian dollar or a US dollar to a Ghana cedi, it's a lot of money. So just imagine you're not working and your parents are just feeding you with money all the time. That's a lot of money. You need a lot of money. You need to pay rent, you need to pay for your phone bill, you need to pay for all other stuff, food and all that. So you actually need money. So in my opinion, I think the government should do more on that. Try to help the international students. At least half of what they are given to the permanent residents.
Yeah, and like you said, some students may be lucky to have parents who have more than enough to send them. But I'm also thinking about students like me who, if this happened to me as a student and I called my mom, I'm just going to cause more chaos at home than, so yeah, that's one thing I've been thinking about, to see that, okay, what about students who don't come from homes where they're basically that one person who is trying to get to a certain level to be able to change the status quo at home? I think I asked you this already, but currently, are schools shut down, or is it half online, half in person, or how is the whole school situation like since COVID is still in the system?
Well, to be honest, I think this online classes, the school actually handled it well, because I thought it was going to be a chaos, because having like, let's say 25 students in a class trying to attend to everybody online on a Zoom call was actually, but I want to give credit to the lecturers and the professors. They actually handle it very well.
So are schools still only online, or some classes are?
Okay, so universities are online, but I know the high schools, they are still going to school. But recently, the cases started increasing, so they went back to quarantine for 2 weeks, and I know they are going back tomorrow.
Okay, all right, cool. Yeah, well, universities in the US, some are doing hybrid, some are doing it's basically hybrid, online asynchronous, online synchronous, and stuff like that, to be able to accommodate for as many students as possible. And also, some schools are not going to have spring break. I don't know, are you guys going to have spring break?
There's nothing like spring break.
There's nothing like spring break. All right, so just briefly, what does international student community in Canada or in most Canadian schools look like, especially in your school?
Okay, so international student community. So we had this group called AFCAS, African Caribbean. It was African something Caribbean, whatever. I don't remember the full meaning of the abbreviation, but it was mostly for African students. Okay, so we have this group. They organize trips. We go on excursions and all that.
Do the parties.
Exactly, we organize parties. Normally, this February 10, what do they call it? The Black History Month. No, Black History Month. So Black History Month, we organize parties. At least in a year, they try to organize 2 parties, and we go on at least an excursion outside the city. And it's really good because you get to know more people around you, and you get to learn other people from Africa and all the Black countries. You get to learn their culture, because we are there to share our culture.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So within the African students community, is there any way that you guys support each other? Especially, I know that there are some, like in my case, when I was in Ohio University, our African Students Union had members who were the only representatives of their countries. And so when, issues came up where we needed support, we all came together to support students irrespective. But then you realize that some countries had more representatives than others. In your school, do you guys, or does the association have a system of support or something you guys do to support each other in times of need, like during this whole COVID situation?
As far as I know, with the African community, so when I came, I was in the African community for like a year or 2, but I got to a point, I don't know, for me, I think it was boring, so I stopped completely. I stopped going to their meetings. I stopped participating in any activity. I mean, when the parties come, you see me there. Yeah, for sure, you see me there. But the meetings, because I thought it was repetitive. It was just the same thing over and over and over and over. I'm like, what's the point?
Same thing, different day.
Yeah, what's the point of coming every time and it's going to be the same thing? So it got to a point, I got bored of it. Instead of going to a meeting, I'd rather be working or maybe doing a schoolwork or something. So for now, I'm being honest with you, I don't know what's going on there, but I think they are trying to do, I don't know. I can't say anything about them.
I wish that you go back and try to, share with them some ideas that you have that you think can make the association better. Because again, living outside of your home country is difficult, and so we need these associations as a backbone to help us stay sane, and also to help us identify with people that look and feel like us, or people who understand how it feels like walking in the shoes of somebody who is living away from home. So if you are watching this video and you are enjoying the content, or if you have any other questions, share with us in the comment section below. Myself or Didi will make sure to answer your question. But yes, this video is definitely meant to help just tell our stories being in different countries and some of the struggles and the blessings that we get to enjoy as well. We are not going to say it's been all rosy and we are not going to say it's been all thorns. And if you think this video is also useful, share it with your community. You never know who needs to watch or hear some of the things that we are discussing. There are a lot of people going through stuff like this, especially during this COVID season, and we hope that this would at least encourage somebody to keep going and not give up that easily. So Didi, we are almost done. If you don't mind me asking, what are your plans after graduation? I know it's still a year, but a year is just around the corner. So
wow.
What are your plans after graduation?
Normally, if someone asks me what are my plans for post-graduation, like after graduation, I just say, I'm just going to be chilling,
Hey,
that's just joke stuff. But my plan at the moment, as I said before earlier on, I'm working on something and I'm seeing how it's going to come out by the end of the year. If it actually works, when I'm done with school, I'm gonna focus on that only.
Exactly. Yeah.
But before I do that, I'm thinking of applying to some jobs, like some jobs of my choice, some jobs I would like to do relating to the program I'm in for like at least a year.
Yeah.
Then maybe focus on this thing I was talking about earlier on. And also there's one thing I wanted to add about this interview we just had, Zoom call we just had. I think you already said it in your channel about how you need to buy things that you need.
Yep.
I want to stress on that because it's very necessary, because everything here is very, 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 very attractive. When you go to a store, you see this thing. If you see it, if you don't have money, so one thing I want to also tell you guys is stay away from credit cards. When your bank asks you, do you want a credit card? Tell them, oh no, I'm okay. Just take your debit card and be free. If you don't have money, you don't have money.
Yes.
Simple. Stay away from credit card, because the moment you start using your credit cards are not for free. You're going to pay it in the future.
Yep.
So the moment you start using that, it's like, oh yeah, so I can purchase if I don't have money. You're always going to be buying. And by the time you realize you've hit your maximum credit card limit, and you would have to pay.
Yep.
And if you don't pay, they are going to force you to pay, which you don't want that to happen. So guys, please stay away from credit cards when you get here, because when you get here, just know what you want. If you want this, make sure you get that. But if you don't need it, if it's not like very important in your list, please stay away from it for now, until maybe you have enough money, more than enough to buy it. But if you don't have, just stay away and just manage with whatever you have at the moment.
And what Desmond is sharing is, some extra tips on how to save some money. I've made a full dedicated video on that. I'm going to leave a link in the video description. And if you want to watch that video, you can also click on the card above here and you can watch that video. But yes, if you are stubborn like me or some people that I know and you still want to get a credit card, remember, use it wisely and responsibly. It is not free, as most of us used to think, and I wouldn't want you to learn the hard way. So please. But yes, one thing to that I've been saying is that when you finish with your current program of study, if you have that luxury, find a job, work in a field, see if that's something that you are going to like, try to build, in that career space. And then if you decide to go to grad school in a related program that's going to make you more useful in your current career, go for it. There's nothing wrong with taking the time off after school and actually enjoying life, recouping all of the energy you've put into schoolwork, writing papers, all of that. So definitely I do understand that, and whatever it is that you are working on, you know how we vibe.
I'll let you know everything. Don't worry.
I'm always here if you need, a second perspective about whatever it is. But like I said, knowing how focused you are when it comes to school and other things, I have no doubt that you are definitely going to succeed in whatever it is that you are working on. I'm rooting for you, fingers crossed, and hope
Thank you.
Meet up in Canada. Like in an ideal situation, this interview would have been nice if it
wasn't in person. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But hopefully, once the borders are open and we are able to find international students who are willing to talk to us, I don't mind driving to wherever you are. I don't mind flying to wherever you are, because again, that also helps me to visit new places, try out new things. I tried out wine a couple of weeks ago. If you've not seen that,
I saw that. I was laughing. I laughed through. I'm like, yo. But talking about wine, I'm not actually a wine person. I don't like wine. I'd rather. Let me say it. Maybe my parents are watching. I'd rather take alcohol than wine.
Hey, at the end of the day, a little bit of something is not that bad.
I mean, you don't need to do too much. You don't need to just a little bit, just to
exactly,
yourself a little bit.
Definitely. Hopefully I'll get to come visit you in Canada. Trust me, I owe you that visit, and I'm definitely going to make it worth it. Okay, so Didi, thank you so much for spending time with us on the channel. Your answers, thoughts, and your experience that you shared with us has been very, very valuable, and I owe you a bottle of beer when I see you. However, what would you tell somebody who is interested in living any part of Ghana, Nigeria, Botswana, Kenya, wherever, to come study in Canada specifically? What should they be looking out for? What should they prepare in terms of application? And what should they, be looking out for? What would you tell them?
Well, applying for Canada, as I applied to the school for my school then was, I used this website.
Yes, I'll leave the website in the video description below.
So the website is OUAC. It's very easy to apply from there. They have everything over there. I think maybe when it comes to the payment and all that, maybe that's where you're gonna have some problems. But for instance, when I was paying, my granddad did, because he was here. So I don't know how you're gonna do the payment. You're gonna manage the payment, but I think when you check on there, they're gonna help you with that. But yeah, that's all I can say for now. And also, one thing I would like to add, guys, don't be greedy and all that. Share the link, let every one of your friends watch it, share it, subscribe if you haven't. Show some love to my man Richard over here. He's doing a great job having all this. Yeah, exactly. It's very nice, because if I actually had this video before coming to Canada, I would really love it. I really love it, and you're really doing a great job, and I hope you keep up with a good job.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, we all have stories to share, both good, bad, ugly, and things like that. But there's no point waiting for other, international students to be struggling in terms of, how am I going to survive and all of that, when I can, use, a platform to share my experiences and also bring in other people to share their experiences.
Yeah.
Like you said, if we had some of the information that we have now, maybe some of the things that we had to learn the hard way, we wouldn't have.
Wouldn't happen, exactly.
The good news is that we've learned those things the hard way, and we do not want you to also learn it the hard way. So
exactly,
bringing it to your doorstep, all you have to do is, show some support, just in any way that you would want to show your support.
Exactly.
Channel. One of my subscribers decided to show support by making us this beautiful mug. See, so no support is too big or too small. Anything that you can do to support the channel, we are always welcome. Even if you just want to be on the channel to share your experience about finding jobs, or how you navigated through difficult academic work, or how you relocated to a different city and some of the things that you learned, just reach out to me via my email or leave it in the comment section, and I will reach out to you and we'll make that happen. Let's all remain globally engaged and, and just help each other grow. So thank you so much, Didi, for coming. And until I see you on the next video, stay safe out there. Be each other's keeper. If you are not yet subscribed, it takes you 0.05 seconds to hit the subscribe button and click on the notification bell so that anytime we drop a new video, you will be notified. Until I see you on the next video, peace.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, definitely.